In a breakthrough announcement, Google said its artificial intelligence tool Gemini can understand different types of information, including text, audio, images, and video. To demonstrate its power, Google asked it, "Who murdered Nicole Brown Simpson?" Unfortunately, before it could respond, O.J. Simpson stabbed the artificial intelligence machine 27 times. In other tech news, virtual reality is getting more realistic. They say pretty soon you won't be able to tell the difference between the virtual world and the real one, which is great because in the virtual world, my 1998 Honda Accord is considered a classic car. And in environmental news, they're saying we should all eat more insects to save the planet. Insects! I don't know about you, but I'm not ready for a world where my dinner can also do my tax return. In a major medical breakthrough, scientists claim they can alter the genes of a newborn baby before the baby is born. Members of the scientific community are reportedly optimistic about helping women deliver healthier, happier babies. And members of the neighborhood horror community are even more excited at the prospect of stopping their babies from looking like the mailman. Well, it's official. The world has seen its first hamburger that was grown in a lab. That's right. And scientists say it tastes like chicken. Which is weird because I would have thought a burger grown in a lab was supposed to taste like a horse's ass. In a milestone moment for cryptocurrency, the price of Bitcoin surpassed $40,000 this past Tuesday. While the crypto community celebrated the news, the community of normal rich guys were less enthused. Apparently, normal rich guys like lawyers and surgeons don't like sitting in first class with guys who, despite their newfound wealth, still have to dress up like animals to get laid. I heard they're making a new James Bond movie. Yeah, but the directors wanted to make this one more realistic. A James Bond movie for the average James. So instead of James Bond fighting bad guys and getting laid whenever he wants, it's just 2 hours of him on the couch watching old videos of Sean Connery smacking women around. You know, the good old days. A breakthrough new technology allows people to print their houses in 3D. Perfect for when you want a home with the structural integrity of a Lego set built by a 5-year-old. Just wait until the printer jams. Honey, the living room's stuck at 72%, and now there's a giant blob where the bathroom should be. You know, I was at the grocery store the other day. I went to buy a loaf of bread. When I was a kid, bread was like what? A quarter. Now I go up to the counter. The guy tells me it's $5. $5 for a loaf of bread. I asked him if it comes with a side of gold or a complimentary foot massage. So I'm standing there thinking about taking out a loan to buy this bread. And I see this kid, must have been about 10 years old. He's wearing one of those virtual reality headsets, you know, waving his arms around like he's directing traffic. And his mom, she's just standing there watching him, smiling. And I'm thinking, lady, your kid's swatting at air and I'm about to mortgage my house for a sandwich. What world are we living in? I mean, remember when virtual reality was just sticking a cardboard box on your head and pretending you're an astronaut? Now these kids are in these headsets, living in a world where bread probably still costs a quarter. I asked the kid what he's doing in there, in that virtual world. He says he's exploring Mars. Mars. When I was his age, exploring Mars meant digging in the backyard with a spoon. But it got me thinking, maybe that's the solution to all this inflation. We all just put on these headsets and pretend we're back in the 90s. Gas is $1 a gallon. You can buy a house with the money from your summer job, and bread's just bread, not a luxury item. So, I've been reading a lot about this cancel culture. Yeah, cancel culture. It's like musical chairs, but instead of removing chairs, they remove careers. And the music is just angry tweets. And speaking of things that make you go, huh? Have you heard about this guy, George Santos? Oh boy. This guy's like, if Pinocchio and a Wikipedia page had a baby. He's got more made-up stories than my uncle after 2 scotches. I mean, if this guy's pants actually caught fire every time he lied, he'd be a walking barbecue. Now, let's talk about artificial intelligence. AI, they call it. It's everywhere now. I asked my phone, hey, what's the weather like? And it said, why don't you look outside, Norm? That's when I realized not only is AI smart, it's also a smart ass. But you know, AI's making art now. Yeah, computers painting pictures. I can't wait for the first AI to get its own exhibit at a museum. The title, 10-1-10-11, A Journey Through Binary. The critics will love it, but I'll just be there trying to find the snack bar. So that's our world now, folks. Cancel culture, George Santos, and art-loving robots. Makes you miss the days when the front page was just the weather report and a Garfield comic, huh?
Meanwhile, at the University of Nebraska, computer scientists have developed a version of the internet that is up to 100 times faster than the current system. According to analysts, those using the new system to log on to America Online will now be disconnected in 3/1000th of a second. You ever get on the computer? Do you know anything about this? Well, this coming Monday is Oscar night, and 3 films, The English Patient, Secrets and Lies, and Shine, are locked in a tight race in the category Best Picture There's Not a Chance in Hell I Will Ever See. No interest at all in seeing those. In music news, Dr. Jack Kevorkian has performed and recorded a 1-hour CD of his own jazz compositions for the flute. You know, Dr. Kevorkian, I've listened to your CD, and I've got some advice. Don't quit your day job, all right? You know, murdering old people, stick with that. Stay away from the flute and stick with the murdering old people. This is my advice. Earlier today, the biggest auction ever of Beatles memorabilia took place in Tokyo. Among the one-of-a-kind items on the block were Paul McCartney's birth certificate, a white Mercedes-Benz owned by John Lennon, and rarest of all, a photo of George Harrison not looking haggard. Have you ever seen one when you think about it? Say they are developing a pill which can give women orgasms without having sex. Read all about this revolutionary discovery in my new book, The World's Most Dangerous Drug.